Good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Cat's Cottage. Got me a nice cup of coffee this morning. Oh, that is good. Unbelievable. It is freezing outside. To me, anyway. It's, of course, when it gets cold, that's a good thing because that tornado is not coming this way and the rain will slow down. So, but anyway, as you see, I crawled out of my closet. And my husband was letting me have information this morning to tell me that most of the people that where the houses were wiped away, they weren't in those closets because those closets wouldn't help you. But it's better than nothing. I mean, I know I have a floor that'll come down on me and a roof, unless it blows away. We always want to think that the best things. The roof will blow away and the second floor, and you'll be right there in the bathroom tub. But I go to the closet, and I had thoughts about reinforcing that closet before. And it's kind of funny, but it has in that closet, it goes down because of the stairwell. But there's a lot of room for several people to be in there. And on the back wall, which I've never removed, I'm actually scared to move that back wall. It's not sheetrock, it's paper. It's paper. Somebody put paper up there and painted it. And I don't know what's behind that wall, And it's not just a close wall. It goes out to underneath my steps in the front. Of course, the steps are closed in with brick, but that's where that goes. And sometimes my imagination will take me away, and I think, well, the man that owned this house said he took his wife to a nursing home, and then he decided to sell the house. Maybe he buried her there. I don't know, put her in the wall. I don't know. But I've always been afraid to remove that paper. And I have painted in there. I painted the wall before. I painted over that wall just like it was. It's movable. It's easy to move. It's paper. And so I thought, no, there could be $1 million behind there, but I'm not removing that paper. But anyway, what I'm getting to, I could reinforce that closet. And in an emergency, if I had to, I could break out through there. Now, I'm not sure where it's going. I mean, other than under the steps. I know it goes up under the steps. But that's kind of funny if you think about it. You've moved in a house 30 years ago, and there's a paper wall there with a lot of space. The space that's up under a stairwell further back. You're living there, and you don't want to open that up. Kind of creepy, isn't it? I don't know who's creepier. But why didn't they just put sheetrock there and let it be? Why did they have to put that paper? Make it mysterious. My husband lived here, with his wife before she passed. I know she's at the cemetery now. Why didn't he open it up? I asked him, and he said, no, I've never cared about it, And I'm thinking, wow. I should have opened it up 30 years ago when I had enough energy to take care of it. But so anyway, that's what I was thinking about, reinforcing that little closet. Now, they have people you can hire that will make you a safe room in your house, but it'll take up a small bedroom, the way it's built. But I can imagine if you did do that, if you did reinforce something as a safe room, that your house would have a more of a selling point to it. I think that's real important, and I think people ought to start doing that. make safe rooms or make cellars outside or even dig part of their house to go underground, you know. Um, the front of this house down below, uh, downstairs against that wall, not the wall of the stairwell where I go in, the other wall, it's underground. Um, it sits up, most of it sits up underground. Now, not all of it. I've seen some of these split levels where it's way up underground, but this one is, it does have some, it is some underground. So anyway, I just thought that maybe, gosh, we need to take a look at the way we're building houses. I've heard some people, you know, up north they have basements, but I've heard them dying there from houses collapsing in, you know. So, but anyhow, the videos are starting to come out now of people in their safe rooms, like I did. They're starting to do that, and they've got stairs and they've got a metal door locks down, and you know they're showing all around and the whole thing. And I think that's really cool. That is so important to save your family, you know. And I thought about this. I thought, well, why am I rushing putting all my stuff down in that bottom closet when there's a storm that I consider valuable, and then taking it out and putting it back away? Why don't I just leave it all down there? I thought, gosh, I could just hang that mink coat up down there, put a plastic bag over it, and hang it down there. You know, I could put all the things that I find valuable to me down there. Um, I don't know. Sometimes the light comes on a little late. But I wish people would start digging storm cellars again. Uh, Cellars, you know, or safe places in their house, have them built. I've seen brick blow out and blocks blow out, and I've seen metal twisted. I'm just not sure what you reinforce it with, but I know they do sell. People do come in. Some people have a double garage and they make one side that safe room, you know. It could be a safe room for more than just a storm. Maybe somebody's broke into your house and you're scared, and so you could run in there and lock the door, you know. Um, I don't know, you know. I just think that people need to uh, step back and take another look at what they're doing. One man said he storm hit last year, tore his house, gone. He rebuilt it in the same place, and then it blew away yesterday. So maybe you shouldn't put that house there again. I mean, you've already done it, you know, rebuilt it, put it there. Maybe you should not do that. Or, like I'm crazy talk I do, is dig her underground, put part of it underground. But, you know, it's not going to save the house. It'll save you. Um, it's just a thought, you know. Um, I've said for years about all the things you should put in your safe place, and even wear a bike helmet, or I don't know, whatever kind of helmet you got, football helmet, whatever you got. And it was a joke, and now they're telling on the Weather Channel to get you a biking helmet, and if you have that, and put it on your head. So, and I've advocated for those helmets for school kids on the school bus. My husband said, "Oh no, that they'll all start fighting with those things, and you know whatever." Um, or a helmet when you drive. When you drive, my daughter was in an accident, and she actually went through the windshield. She had to have a lot of surgeries and things. So the doctor told her to wear a helmet when she drove her car because she couldn't afford to get hit again. So I gave her a helmet. I had an extra helmet, and she wore that for a long time driving. You know, and I was always thought that people should wear helmets driving. Um, Passengers too. You know, You wear a seatbelt. It took forever, forever, ever to make a seatbelt law. But anyway, I'm just yapping, you know. But anyway, yesterday somebody asked me a couple of things. Where was Vic yesterday? I don't worry about him. I don't worry about where he is. He won't come in that closet. And usually he's sitting in a chair watching the weather, which is not very far from the closet. Or he's out standing on the front porch waiting and watching for it. So I'm not gonna, I'm not gonna. You can't force people to do things that they just absolutely insist they're not gonna do. So and if he did get in there in the closet with me, we'd probably end up killing each other. I'd probably open the door and shove him out. But anyway, that's several of you asked where he was, and he wasn't far, and he was on the phone finding out if his family was, I don't know, at home or hiding in the closet. I don't know what he was doing. I could tell my kids uh every time, "Oh, storm's coming. Oh, you better get in a safe place. Get in that closet. You got all the animals in. Where are your dogs? Where's your chickens?" And blah 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 blah. You get to a point where you got to stop. You can't just keep. You know, they're adults now. They're adults. Um, you can't tell people what to do. That's what I'm saying. But you know, I told them all before, over and over, what to do, and they ought to know now. You know. Um, but it was hot in that closet. Ooh, it didn't take me 5 minutes in that closet, and my clothes were soaked. I don't know what was that about. I had opened the door and let some air in. I don't know why that closet was so hot. There's not a heater near there. I couldn't figure that one out. I don't know. Anyway, and someone asked me something else. What was it? Oh, about the kitchen. Yeah. You wanted me to tell you how did I decorate that kitchen? Well, I'll tell you. I looked around my house and looked in my storage places and seen all the things that I had that I could decorate my kitchen with. Now, why this happened, I don't know. This is something I want to do. So I found plates I know what started it. My daughter took a lot of stuff to her booth and emptied out a lot of stuff. And then so I looked around and saw what was left, and I thought, well, I'll do something with this stuff. So I put a lot of it in my kitchen, on the walls, plates on the walls. Um, and I had a couple of shelves that I had gotten from IKEA once before. You could do anything. You could even put a cabinet there, or you could put a little stand-up cabinet, anything on your countertop that, where you could store things. And I never liked my silverware in the drawer, open and shutting and opening and shutting. And usually the drawer ends up breaking, messing up. I've always kept my silverware in a container, you know, on the counter or on a table. Uh, it doesn't get dusty or anything. It's being moved so much. I've always had my knives in a little knife holder, so there's the knife holder. Uh, what you look at is your pathway, how you walk. You don't want to put anything that blocks your path that you use all the time. And my counters, I started from after gathering up junk I had and put it in the kitchen. You know, I didn't even go to the thrift store yet. I'm just looking around at my junk. And then I looked at the counters, and they were that old gold sparkly mess. You know, um, what is that? Gosh, countertops anyway. So I thought, I heard that you could put contact paper on there, but would that be a mess? So I thought, okay, on this one, I'll put wood, like a cutting board. That just would be really cool. So I went and looking everywhere, and I couldn't find wood contact paper forever. I've seen it all the time, and I couldn't find it. So I ended up buying 2 rolls of this black and white speckly stuff. And I thought, well, there we are. Speckly stuff, just like what's on there. But I'm going to go ahead and do it. What the heck? I can pull it off. And I started out on the counter, and it came out nice. I'm like, I took my time, measured it and cut it. I thought if I mess up, pull that off, throw that away, get you another sheet. Don't worry about it. I got it over at, I think it was Home Depot. Yeah, I believe that's where it was. And so I did the first counter, and I thought, well, that is just, I like that. I was trying to get rid of that speckly mess, and this is speckly, but I like it. It looks so good. And I thought, this is great. And so I went slowly around the cabinet. Now, there's some things you need. If you've got a small kitchen like mine, you need your microwave, um, necessary things, and a place for your coffee pot. If you don't drink coffee, um, that's good for you. You don't have to worry about that. Um, but then I looked at the cabinets, and I have tried to fix those cabinets forever. I've painted them white, black. Now they're gray, dark gray. So I thought, well, I have loved those curtains on those old-fashioned um, cabinets. I've loved the little curtain look, you know. So I thought, well, how would I make a curtain? How would I get it up there? So I took a curtain rod, just those round ones, and I bought me some of those hooks, that like that, the ones that look like that. And I put the hooks in and held up the rod and bought one that would go as long as the countertop. And I did it on the other side. Now, what the cloth was, well, do I go and buy cloth? And then I thought, wait a minute, the kitchen towels that I had bought over at IKEA some time ago, I never used. I put them in the drawer here, and they're edged, you know, they're edged, and you could take them off and wash them if you wanted to. I measured it, and they were a little bit short. So I cut a piece off the next towel, overlapped it, and actually, I could have taken a sewing machine, but my laziness didn't. I just whipped it right across, flipped the top over, whipped that across, and hung the first piece on there. I may have about 5 strips on each one. And I thought, well, I don't want it to jut out. I don't want it to move or anything. So I did actually add some red wood beads hanging on there. I didn't know what to do with them. And they had an orange slice on the end of them, which I think that's a Christmas decoration. But I put that on there. That's just to hold the curtain down. And I thought, okay, when this gets dirty, all I got to do is pop it off the rod, throw it in the washing machine, and then put it right back on. The problem with my cabinets down below, food is slopped all over them. And that's all I do is spend my time cleaning that off. And I thought, I'm done with that. Uh, I'm done with that. So these towels hanging there like curtains, on each side, um, they're working. That's working. If I need in the cabinet, just pull the curtain aside and get in the cabinet. So I thought, this is working here. I like that. Now, I didn't put it where the garbage can is. I thought that would be terrible. All that coming down out of the garbage can, possibly on that towel. I'd be washing it constantly. So anyway, I got me a sanding block, and I sanded on the drawers that were above the curtain and on this side, around the stove. Um, and then the door that I have two door openings, and the door that I had, it's had a door and it hadn't had a door. Um, so I put the door back up there, and I used the door behind it. I put a few things on there, and I actually got something on the front. But and then about that time, I started going to Salvation Army. I hadn't been a big thrift store shopper. I've been a estate and carport sale buyer. So anyway, I found things and I thought, well, I can put this in the kitchen. When I first got it, I was like, I don't even know if I want that. I might just chunk that out. I don't. But I put it in the kitchen and what happened was it began to build. That's how I have all this stuff in this kitchen, is going to thrift stores. Uh, Even if you don't have a thrift store near you, go to a large store, a DIY store, or I don't know, a dollar store or some easy store like that. It has junk in it, and look for kitchen stuff. So that's how it got built up. I found things at the thrift store and the dollar store, um, and started putting them in. And the red wasn't intentional; it just accidentally happened. I thought, oh yeah, I like that red check. So I got me a red check tablecloth, put it here. Um, got me a bucket, checked, put the silverware in. Um, what else do I have that's red? Oh, okay. And I saw this mixer. I got a perfectly nice mixer, but I saw this red mixer, and I thought, oh yeah, I've got to have that. It's red. So I began to build up the red in there, and then you could do it just the opposite. You could do it with yellow, blue, pink, whatever you want to do. You could do it with a different color. And then I saw the red rug at the thrift store. I think it was like $15 on a discount day, and I bought that. I started buying, gosh, I don't know. I saw these. I thought, okay, I'm gonna get some red spoons. Let me get some red. And then I come across another time. I came across two of these. So see, that's how you start your kitchen, and it don't have to be red. It can be any color, or it can be no color, just whatever you find and like. Um, Let me think. What else did I do in that? Oh, okay. I got on the back of the door. I got this rack for plates. They have racks. They're about that wide. Maybe you can find two of them and put them together. And I put that up there on back, screwed in with screws, back of the door, and that's where I put my hot pads. I love hot pads. Pot holders. I've always been attracted to them. Uh, I've made some before in my younger time. I made some. Then down below that, I put a rack again, and I put useful things on there like clips, recycled bags from boxes, and different things on there that you could use. Rubber bands, things like that. I've got them hooked on that. And then below that, I've got the spice rack at the bottom of the door. Uh, so that's how you build it. And then I wanted some cups to hang on the walls. So I went around to my window, where my window is above my sink, and I've always been fearful of someone coming up there and breaking in while I'm asleep. So I thought, well, this is going to make a bad noise if you try to get in this window. So that was one of my thoughts to that. And I bought those plate racks. They were about that wide. They're about that wide. Maybe you get 3 or 4 plates on them. And it comes up and it has a kind of a hook like or decoration. Make sure that it'll hold a cup. That's going to hold a cup on each side. So I think I put up maybe 2 of them. And I hooked them to the rod at the top and hooked them partially to the shutters that I had there. so it'd be secure because cups are pretty heavy. And I began to pick up little cups, and some of them I don't like. I like this one. This one drinks well. I like it. It's not real big, and it's just right. But you can you can pick the color. Like it. I kind of like the blue and the red together. That's sort of like what I like. And yellow. Those three colors I like. Um, but yeah, that's where I got. That's how I did that. That's how those cups are on the wall, on the window. They're on the window because I'm nervous about that window and someone coming in that way. Walk up here on the balcony and just walk right there and you know get into that window. But I can't think of. Okay, and then I had this cart that I bought some time ago at IKEA. You don't have to have that. It's just a rolling cart. And I have it sitting right there in front of my dishwasher. Now, there you go there. If you don't use the dishwasher, it's just empty space. But if you use it, I wouldn't, necessarily put a cart in front of it unless you wanted to roll it back and forth. But anyway, that's my coffee cup, coffee supplies, and on the top is a cutting board, and that's where I put my fruit. So um, I built the kitchen slowly, slowly, slowly. On my refrigerator, that contact paper I was talking about. My refrigerator is old, and so the handles seem to be, they're plastic, they seem kind of yellowy. So I took some of that sticky contact paper and just went right over the handles, and it looks just so good. I don't have to worry about any color. It doesn't have to be white because your refrigerator's white, but that happened to be that way. And then I found some of those, those flat picture things that got cloth over them and ribbons, and you put notes in there, and stuff like that. Well, I put one of those in my refrigerator, and that is just so convenient. You know, uh, I might have two on there, one at the top and one at the bottom, and it's so convenient for holding doctor appointments and coupons and whatever. And then on the other side, where it's kind of short there, the refrigerator, freezer side, I hot glued a mirror about that big around, about the height of my face. So, if I get something in my eye or, right quick, I want to look in the mirror, uh, there's a mirror there. So there's different things you can do. And magnetics, you can put the magnetic things up there. Uh, there's different things you can do. And in now, I'll say Dollar Tree, but it could be any place. They have some of these little decorative stickers, and they're not flat. They're kind of puffed a little bit, whatever. They're for kids, I guess. And I put some of those in places on my refrigerator just to pick it up a little bit. But it's just left to you, the ideas and the things that you find. Where do you want to put a clock? You got a clock that you always look to that spot, so you can't move the clock. Because if you do, you'll be looking at that spot and there won't be nothing there. So leave your clock in place. But I slowly added things. And I've got it full. I mean, I could use a bigger kitchen, bigger kitchen. If you have a bigger kitchen, you could add a desk with a chair, a lamp. You could add a shelving where you could put all your cookbooks. There's a lot of things you could do. Some shelves for crock pots, special pots. Mine has bled out into here. That's why I call this my pantry. I have pots and pans in here and dishes in here. Uh, Besides food, I have food, in all this shelf and baskets. It's seasonings, it's packs of cooking food, it's canned food, it's jars. I got two baskets over there full of canned goods. Um, and then I have a TV. If your kitchen's big enough, you can get a small TV and put in there. Um, I've seen them really small at the thrift stores. They're about like that. I mean, that is so cute. You could sit that in your kitchen, make anything out of it, whatever you want to view on there. Um, Maybe even recipes and stuff like that. Or do like I do, and I like aquariums on there. Or in here right now, I got the chickmunks. Uh, but yeah, that you asked me that question, you know, about how did I decorate the kitchen, and can I show you how to decorate the kitchen? And it is a slow and long process of collecting things, and sometimes it work and sometimes it don't work, so you can redo it, you know. Um, but yeah, that's just you can do it. You can do it. You can make it you. Uh, all the things that are said by people in your family, just ignore them. Oh, well, you got that there. Oh, I'm gonna bump that. Oh, I don't like that on the edge. Oh, I don't like that back there. Blah 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 blah. Just That's your kitchen. No, I just tell them, get out. Just get out of my kitchen. Get out. Um, but anyway, I'm gonna close this off because it's pretty long, and I'm gonna talk to y'all later. I enjoyed it. Ask me anything you want to about the kitchen, and I'll help you out. Um, but just do it slowly. It'll be you. And there's all kind of ideas you can look online. I mean, there's all kind. Maybe you're not like me. Maybe you don't like all that junk. But you still decorate your kitchen for you. Okay. Well, I'm gonna say goodbye, and I'm fine. And it is wet as heck here, and there's still flooding, and it's not raining right now, and it's not supposed to rain tomorrow, but it's going to rain again the next day, really heavy. So uh, this is not good for planting. But anyway, I'll let all y'all go, and I'll probably think of something. Oh, I should have told them this, that, and the other. But just thank you, and God bless y'all. Y'all, those prayers, a lot of those prayers, I appreciate so much. Um, I know they helped me. So y'all take care. God bless.